So the feedback on my first day of the diver video was overwhelmingly positive, and people really wanted a part 2, so let's do it. In part 1 we did a bit of learning and failed one of our early dives by trying to melee down this shark. We progressed through some of the story and learned about this giant squid that we will be fighting later on this episode, and we picked up our first staff member Kyoko and trained up her stats a bit, and with her help we increased our cookster rating to bronze, which unlocks mainly a new kitchen staff member, and with more staff we can serve people better, and you can see we're starting to make a lot more money. After our amazing service last night, we have a ton of cash to buff up today's dives. We have a quest that requires us to dive down to 130 meters I believe, and we need an upgraded diving suit to be able to dive to 150 meters, and then down at that depth we might find more sharks, so more carrying capacity so we could carry back multiple sharks or bigger fish would get us more profit so we could get more upgrades later on, so we'll definitely grab the cargo box. Before we test out our new diving suit, the dolphin from before leads us to its buddy who's yet again caught in a net, but it's not going to be as easy this time to free it. Oh. Ow. Let's see where the projectile is coming from, the little laser. Oh, it's moving now. Got this though, not even a problem. Aha! Take that, pirates. As a reward for freeing it, we get a large gold bar, which I'm not sure what this is worth. And though we did take a little bit of damage from helping the dolphin out, there is an oxygen tank not too far away. Not long after that we find the shark, and we're just gonna try to take this thing out. It's gonna charge in a second, we're gonna try to juke. These things are actually so easy once you get the hang of them. I do think later on, once we run into bigger sharks, they're going to be more terrifying. This one is just so easy once you know what you're doing. We're down to 75 meters, which is about as deep as our old diving suit would go. It's anywhere from like 70 to 90 meters is how far we go down. And we got this current that's pushing us into these spikes. And yeah, we do take a little bit of damage there. We did spend quite a bit of time messing with that current, and I'm really not sure how deep we actually want to go here, because we're down to about half our oxygen tank. We got a gun enhancement kit, which upgrades our rifle for I think only this run. We'll keep diving down I guess, and hopefully find an oxygen tank down here, because we are officially down to half our oxygen. We're getting down to a critical depth where we got to decide if we want to keep going down and hope that we find an oxygen tank, which thankfully we do find an oxygen tank. So we are free to keep going. I will say leveling up our oxygen meter would be very nice as well. And that's one of the upgrades I was considering doing today, but I felt like the increased space was just so good. I do think once we do another service, we'll be able to upgrade the oxygen tank twice. And our weapon over here, it's a red sniper. When you do find weapons, you don't get to keep them after the run, but if you find 2 or maybe 3 of them, you can craft them. So we find one of those sniper rifles, we can craft it. In the top of our screen, you may notice we have this compass that's telling us to go a certain direction. This is the place that Dr. Bacon told us to go, and we now have to move a pile of rocks to get inside, which we can't do right now, I guess. Before we do go back up, I tested out the sniper rifle, which can pierce fish, and we're able to grab 2 of these pretty massive fish, which end up taking up most of our inventory space. We asked the Cobra guy how to clear out that quest spot, and he says to use a bomb, which we did have, and I'm guessing we probably could have used it to clear that out and progress in the quest. That being said, every day we have 2 dives, and on the second one, after collecting quite a few things, we run to Mr. Shark, who at this point we're just farming with no problems. Holy crap. This is a nasty looking predator. Let's use the gun on it. Oh jeez. Only took 4 hits, but we did just get a gun enhancement kit, so I'm not sure if it was more or less tanky than the shark. Oh jeez. That is not good. I don't think that shark's going to be as easy to take out. Question is, do we try to take it out? Our oxygen supply is doing really good, as we have 2 spare tanks, and if we use one up right now, we'll have space for this underwater scooter. So I think we'll just use one of the spare tanks, and we still will have some oxygen up here that we can grab. We are overburdened, which is lowering our movement speed, and I'm thinking maybe make some space, like we could maybe dump a lot of these blue tanks. I dumped all the blue tang and some mats that we didn't really need, so that we can potentially outrun and outplay this shark. I'm guessing it can't swim above this little line here. So we'll just take some shots at it from up here. Okay, yes it can. Run away. We'd only have 5 more shots with this gun, then we'll have to start using the harpoon. just much more unwieldy. Doesn't do as much damage because we did get the gun upgrade. And now we're out of ammo, which I do think there is ammo around. Although before we go looking for more ammo, we can try the harpoon gun on it. Just doesn't have as much range. You can see it's kind of unwieldy. Like after you shoot, you gotta sit there for a second. Although we did shock it because we have a modifier on the harpoon today that slows targets. And wow, we actually do take it out. It drops tiger shark meat, which is extremely heavy, and we cannot carry anymore. I dumped a few things that weren't super necessary from the inventory. We got down to 39.9 kg, which I'm guessing 40 was the threshold. And with that, we are able to grab the rest of that massive shark. Before we open up shop, we'll spend what little money we have on a basic hiring ad, which costs us 50 bucks. For tonight's service, we have 4 different shark entrees. We've got the reef shark meat that we've been farming, plus the reef shark head. And each head plus, I guess, 1 olive oil is worth 5 servings. We also got 10 servings of tiger shark meat and 10 servings of long-nosed saw shark meat. Since we have so much shark, I think it's definitely worth to enhance the saw shark meat for 3 of that meat, and we'll use 3 of the tiger shark meat to enhance it as well. The question is, do we want to enhance those even more for 4 more meat, which would leave us with only 3 servings of each? And I'm thinking we're okay to do that, because even after enhancing them, we got 6 servings total of these sharks, plus still 10 servings of the shark head, and 10 servings of the reef shark meat, which we could enhance, which we're going to do. And even after doing all those enhancements, we still have 20 items on our menu to sell, which are all really high value. And I don't even think we're going to have 20 customers, but we'll see. So during the serving, the only thing I messed up was mispouring one of the green teas. And I do think that took away a little bit from our score. We only got a 4.7 star. But in total, even after paying our hired help, we still got a net profit of a whopping 894. And I don't think everything even sold. Like it said, only 5 of the shark heads sold. We still had 5 left. So enhancing was the play. We also got enough thumbs up, I think it was, to increase our cookster rating. And then I had to learn a random recipe, which I didn't care too much about. None of the recipes looked that good. But the main thing is we now increase our cookster rating to silver, and we get better recipes now that are worth way more. And we unlock quite a few more things. We can get an extra serving staff for I think a maximum of 3 total. The other 3 recipes that we didn't learn were only worth about 50 bucks, which is pretty much what we're getting from selling the sharks. So I was like, I don't want to use regions like soy sauce, for example, to make that stuff. But these recipes are now worth 93, although you do need a couple regions, and I don't know what fish this is. We never caught it before. This next one only requires kelp though, and striped red mullet. I'll keep an eye out for that. And I think we've come across more eels. I'll try to catch some, and if we can, then we'll learn this recipe. Before we dive today, we're for sure going to buff up the air tank. Then I'm not sure what we want to buff up next. I feel like going for the cargo box might just be the play though, because you get way more carrying capacity. The next upgrade for that is extremely expensive, so we're going to focus on the other upgrades first probably. We run into the saw shark, and with no modifiers to our gun, it takes almost all of its ammo to kill. We're now back to fighting this massive shark. And this time it's looking a little bit sketchy because we don't really have anywhere to run. If we do hold shift, you can use oxygen. Holy crap. You can use oxygen to swim quicker. We got a hostile barracuda thing up here too. Yeah, that was a little bit close. But we do find more oxygen, and then I do have a spare tank as well. I would just like to find a weapon modification, or I'll take this underwater scooter actually, because it will increase our movement speed and we don't have to spend oxygen for increased movement speed. And we got the shark again. This time we do have gun ammo though. And then the scooter's not equipped. And then now if I hit shift, instead of spending a little bit of extra oxygen to swim quicker, I'll be spending scooter charges. This is not going to do it for the shark for sure. That's all of our ammo. We're going to have to go find more. I'm not going to try to harpoon the shark. It's too dangerous. I found more gun ammo, and we're back to the shark. And I think the best way to do this is get some cover when it charges. Not sure if that was actually cover. Oh, no, that's not cover. And I panicked there for a second. Oh my goodness. Run away. Just use this. Okay. I was trying to figure out how to use my spare oxygen tank there. Now we gotta run away from these stupid barracuda. This shark has got to be like 1 hit. No. Oh jeez, that was close. And there we go. On that dive, we also gather materials required to build a drone, which will be ready tomorrow. And for completing that quest, we mainly get 500 gold, and I think we should use that to expand our air tank for more survivability. I don't feel the need to dive any deeper just yet, because we can't carry that much. On the next dive, we find a remote mine that we were told could potentially blow up this debris and clear a path. That one blew. I get near this one and detonate myself. No. Here we go, this fish is finally aggroing towards it. And that does not do it, I think. Yeah. And we killed 3 of the smaller sharks, and we head over to the bigger shark and kill it as well. And we only were able to grab half the shark meat. I'm trying to figure out how much we have to discard so that we can carry the other half. If we get down to 54.4, then we're able to grab the other half, and I'm guessing the threshold is 55. We made it back to the sushi shop, and our flyer ad turned out to be successful. And we got Rawl, who's got really good stats, but he costs almost 1k, which right now we cannot afford. After tonight's service, we might be able to afford him, but I'm not sure if he's still going to be available for hire after the service. So I'm thinking maybe just in case, do another flyer ad for 50 bucks. And then I was considering adding the cheaper dude to our staff for tonight's service, but I think after putting out that next ad, both those dudes left because I can't hire anyone now. So that might have been a big misplay. With that 50 bucks, we almost could have upgraded our current staff stats by quite a bit. It would have costed 215, and we would have only had 206 if I didn't waste that $50. After both today's dives, we have a whopping 35 saw shark meat, and so we can enhance this, and then enhance it again for another 10 meat. And then we could enhance it again for another 15 meat, and that would leave us with only 4. The question is, how much are we going to enhance the tiger shark meat? We could enhance that twice as well, leaving us with only 4 of that, but then we'd still have 5 servings of the shark head and the reef shark sushi. So let's just say for tonight's service, we definitely need more staff. And then I made 2 errors where I just effed up basically, and yeah, it was not good. We only got 3.8 stars, but we did get 935 profit. The next day, we're delivered the bombs we need to clear the cave, and the Cobra Shop is now open. And at this shop, we can buy items that I'm guessing we can only use for this next dive. We can increase oxygen capacity by 10%, get a underwater scooter or oxygen capsule. These last 2 items we can find while diving, but we cannot find the oxygen tank expansion. Mainly though, at his shop, we can start selling things like this large gold bar that I guess is only used to sell at the shop for 500. This tiger shark tooth as well for 200. 12 of these silver bowls that I've just been collecting over time for 50 each. The pearl that the dolphin gave us for 100. And before we sell off our other materials, I just wanted to see what was required to craft the Hush Dart, which is a non-lethal tranquilizer gun, and tranquilized creatures are of high grade, which means they'll yield more meat, but I don't think this works on sharks, so I didn't really care too much about crafting it, but we did anyways. And I'm still not sure about the triple axle. We can try to use it in the next dive. And as a bonus for crafting those, we get a new cutscene, which you guys can check out. Instead of saving a lot of these mats for later weapons, I'm thinking we sell them right now. Like, we can get 720 for all this iron ore. And yeah, I decided just to sell all the mats we picked up because I'm pretty sure we can find more of those later. And we're looking really good on cash now. Question is, do we want to save some for staff later? And is the staff even going to get here by tonight? Regardless, I definitely want to get more inventory space, which is the most expensive thing here. And I'm thinking maybe upgrade the air tank and the diving suit, which would leave us with quite a bit to buy more staff later. And I'm thinking maybe don't buy the harpoon gun because we can find decent weapons while we're diving. After killing a couple smaller sharks, we immediately head over to the cave and put the bomb on it. We can now go to this new area where we're told to take a picture of this sea king, and then there's an artifact that we're told to grab, and we have to now deliver that stuff back up to the surface. I think upgrading the diving suit may have been a waste because Dave refuses to dive into this hole, which as far as I can tell is where you need to go to dive deeper. There is another way to get down, but Dave is too scared of that side as well. So yeah, we definitely should not have upgraded the diving suit yet. The guy has to analyze the sea people artifact, so we can't explore any further with that. And we got some people that are complaining about our fishing, I think. And they're upset that we planted a bomb in the sea, I guess. And they're upset that we're polluting the beautiful sea. It looks like they're not going to do anything for now, but I'm sure they'll be back. In our next service, a VIP shows up, and in order to wow him, we have to capture a certain type of jellyfish. And apparently the guy's going to be back in 2 days. 2 recruits showed up from our flyer ad. This first one cannot cook at all, but is really good at serving, which I think increased her movement speed as she's moving around serving people. I don't know what procure and appeal mean, but we definitely need another server, so we'll take her. And then I'm not too sure about the other girl. She seems pretty trash, although she is really cheap, and we might be able to upgrade her her quite a bit, so let's grab her as well. We put her and the other girl we just hired on serving duties. And we're gonna put Kyoko in the kitchen because she's got 41 cooking, and we can upgrade that cooking even more for 215 and even more for 308, which would be quite a bit of our cash. But I think we should do it. I'm guessing having a good cook's really important. And then next we'll train Johnny for 150 to buff up her serving. Then we could buff up her serving even more for 215, and she'll unlock tip masters, so she always gets tips. That is gonna be all of our cash, so we can't buff up Davina. But I think it's kind of a waste to buff her stats because I don't know what procure does, and that's all she's good at, so I think we're just gonna dump her later. I'm thinking we'll buff up our saw shark meat with 22 of it, leaving us with only 8. And do we also buff up the tiger shark meat, leaving us with only 5? And we can also buff up our reef shark meat, but that's gonna cost all of it. But we still do have 5 tiger shark sushi, 8 saw shark sushi, and 10 roasted shark head. And just me and this stupid girl is seeming like it's enough to feed everyone. We haven't missed any meals yet, and I did pour 2 perfect green teas. I'm not sure what we want to do over here. We can't produce food if we run out of wasabi. We have to grind and refill the wasabi before it runs out. And how do I do this? W. Just spam W, okay. After grinding up the wasabi, we only have a couple more orders to fill, and we do manage to get every single one today. I'm not sure how we only got a 4.8 star. We might have missed pouring a couple green teas, but in total we got a 1940 net profit, which is double that of what we've ever got before. Since we're doing pretty good on money, we're gonna splurge for the TV ad, which will let us choose from 3 applicants this time, and we get a bunch more cash from selling off most of the loot from yesterday's dive. The only thing I'm gonna stop selling is bones, because I don't usually see too many bones on these dives. With most of that cash, I'm thinking upgrade the cargo box, which won't leave us enough money to buy a really good applicant like that dude that costed 900. But if we can carry 30 more kg, which is quite a lot more, we can grab more stuff while we're diving and sell it back to Cobra, and then use that cash to pay for the applicants later on tonight. And then to increase our carrying capacity by 10 kg more, we can buy this underwater cargo box, which I think is only going to work for this next dive, but it's only 40, which I feel like is really worth. And then this gun enhancement kit could be good when we're fighting the massive shark, because it's always kind of sketchy when we're fighting that thing. To go deeper, we need a deep sea headlamp, and Duff has one, but he's only willing to part with it if we find this Leah Chan figurine. And we do find it. Unfortunately, the giant octopus snatches it away from us and brings it into this crash ship, and we can't enter the ship till we surface again to grab an item. On the second dive, we make it back over to the sunken ship, and we now have a cutter that we can use in kind of a mini game where I gotta follow this circle, which so far is not hard to do at all, although the circle is picking up speed. I'm also not sure what happens if I fail this, by the way. I'd imagine I'd fail it for today and then I'd have to come back and try it tomorrow. So I really don't want to fail it. My mouse is not on the cleanest surface. I didn't clean my mouse pad for like a month. Okay, we're good. Let's get the excuses ready in case I failed that. But yeah, we're about to enter the boat, and it says we sense a dangerous creature's presence, which I guess we'll enter. There was a giant tentacle thing coming from inside the boat, and we went behind the boat, I guess. Let's just take a look around. This is where that squid was a few hours ago, and it's still here. I'm not sure if we have to walk up to... okay. I like how the guy is seeing what we see somehow. It's like, yeah, there it is. I'm glad you found it. As if this giant sea creature does not exist. Yeah, Dave's saying what I'm saying. Like, what? Sets our culprit. I guess it knows a good thing when it sees it, even if it's just a squid. Seems to be asleep. Sneak up and bring it back quietly. Come too far to go back empty-handed. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I've killed like 3 sharks. I was about to kill the mega one. And, yeah, I really don't want to do this. And, okay, it's gonna probably eat me. Or that works, I guess. This guy's calling me a chicken for wanting to run. Use the gun I gave you? Are you kidding? I've been trying to shoot the squid's tentacles, but I think I need to shoot the actual squid itself. There we go. Oh jeez. Okay, this is gonna be a long fight, I can already tell. After about 5 or 6 shots to the eye, the giant octopus thing gives up and releases a sea person that was snatched in a cinematic earlier that I didn't show. I guess we actually killed the squid because we're able to cut away its tentacle and we can use that for a sushi later. And unfortunately, after grabbing the figurine, we get teleported back up to the top, so I wasn't able to kill the mega shark on our second dive. Although on the bright side, literally, we do now get the deep sea headlamp, so we can go deeper. And we do get some gold that we can spend on tonight's applicants potentially. Poncho cooks up the massive tentacle and we throw a party, and the restaurant's closed for tonight, so we didn't end up doing any service. The fish we caught, I believe, will still be good for tonight's service though, and in case it will go bad by then, we should enhance the saw shark meat. We found 3 snipers total underwater, so we can now craft one. The sniper can hold way less ammo than the underwater rifle, but has over double the damage and quadruple the range, so you can snipe at sharks from a really safe distance. Before today's dive, we grab a gun enhancement kit, which increases damage, and the underwater cargo box to increase our capacity, and we get the harpoon gun upgrade, which we've been long overdue for. Before we even begin the dive, we get ambushed by the dude that was watching over us while we were having the party, and ironically, his weapon of choice is a grenade launcher. Even though he's trying to, protect the sea, he actually ends up doing a ton of damage to it during the fight. Using the deep sea headlamp, we're able to dive deeper, and we encounter a new shark. It's not looking too terrifying. I have a really powerful sniper rifle with 3 upgrades, so we did put 150 damage into that thing. We just gotta find more ammo though. Alright, we got 3 more shots. This should be a freebie. Yeah, okay, so it takes 200 damage about. Getting to the critical depth of my suit, so I'd like to just kill this thing and then get out. So we can only go down 15 meters deeper. Although we can get to the bottom of this room. So we're at critical depth if we go down here to loot this stuff. Maybe we shouldn't. I don't want to mess with the spider anyways. We find the 2 sea people that we saw in the squid's lair, and they're speaking a language we can't yet understand, but if we find a few items Dr. Bacon thinks he can translate it, we sell most of the loot we've gathered from the previous 3 dives, leaving mainly this opal ore that's used to enhance weapons, although we don't have a way to do that yet, and the amethyst ore is also used for that. Using that cash, I think we should upgrade the air tank to increase survivability, but then I want to save a good amount for tonight's service to potentially hire people or upgrade them. There was, I believe, 2 spots where we could have dove deeper if we had the upgraded diving suit, so we're gonna go for that. I couldn't figure out how to go deeper than 2 to 30, so we just grabbed what we could and went back up to the mega shark, and we were able to carry all of it up. Unfortunately, the dude's shop is closed at night, so before we do this next service, we won't be able to sell all the loot we just picked up. The VIP is back, and Boncho has the sushi ready, and the dude was talking trash on it, but we're about to get his reaction. As a reward for completing the VIP quest, we do get 1,000 gold and 50 likes, and the dude leaves us a beer machine that we can now use to pour customers beer. And that is going to be more work, but to help us with that work, we got 3 new applicants, and this dude Masayoshi has 93 appeal, which I'm not sure what that does exactly, but I'm sure it's a good thing to have, and the dude has a lot of it, so let's pick him up. And then we do have room for another cook, so let's pick up Yusuke, who does specialize in cooking. And on second thought, we don't have room in the kitchen until we upgrade our cook's rating, which we're really close to doing. We just got a ton of likes from that VIP. I think we need only like 8 more, but we can now at least dump Davina, and we'll put Masayoshi in the dining area and train him up a little bit. If we buff him up to level 3, he has a 5% chance of increasing the number of plates, which is going to help his cooking ability. Right now he's just going to serve, and he only has 49 serving, which isn't great. Let's buff him up again for 308 was that, and then he's now maxed out with 162 cooking. We can keep training up Kyoka, who was cooking, but maybe we should have her serve tonight because she's got 155 serving and the drink serving trait. And so yeah, we'll buff her up for 442, and then we'll buff her again for 600 maybe, and just get her stats to an insane level. As far as what we're gonna serve, we got 7 servings of that Mega Mouth shark, which I did fight again, and it had a cool mechanic where it kind of sucks you in. Oh geez. Okay. Why do we need this sniper? And then we got 8 servings of that ghostly looking shark, which was not hard to fight at all. If we want to make some big time profit, we can sell the dish that we made for that VIP, but this does require materials, and you have to use a net weapon to capture the jellyfish, which isn't super reliable to be able to do. I'm thinking since A, it's annoying to catch the jellyfish, and B, it uses sea grapes and salt, we're not going to bother with enhancing this, and we're going to put like 4 out on the menu tonight. And even if they don't sell, I think it will still use up 4 of these regions. Our menu had 19 things on it, but in our last service, this, we had 23 likes, which I think means 23 customers. So I added 7 more lesser value things. So hopefully everything sells and people don't choose to buy the lesser value stuff over the more expensive stuff. To possibly increase the amount of customers that come, we're going to add some nice decorations. Like we're going to change around the layout to brick. And then with the rest of our cash, we'll buy some antique bar chairs. And hopefully that will increase how many people show up. I was considering not using Jondi because she's got like half the serving in appeal that Kyoko has. And I think appeal dictates how much you get from tips or how often you get tips. But Jondi does have tip masters, so she is always getting tips. And yeah, we're open. I don't even have to serve green tea, so that's good. And this person wants to do a quest, which we'll go over later. But yeah, I guess I'll have to help out serving a bit, but maybe not that much. These guys are doing quite a bit of work. Maybe I could grind up some wasabi. Make sure we don't run out of that. And so far, so good on everyone. Could pour this guy beer as well. And you have to pour it till it gets to about 20%. Oh, the foam spilled, so I think we failed it. No, it's good. Okay, maybe I didn't read the beer thing right. I'll just pour beer for people. Because, yeah, the girls are doing a good job. Maybe I poured even more. Okay, the foam can go over, I guess. Which makes sense. And, yeah, this is going really well. Wasabi's in a good place. I mean, we could even put some more wasabi in there. Do some cleaning as well. It's nice to have an all-star staff. It's definitely nice to be the one running the restaurant and not having to be the staff at all. The results are in, and we did get a 5-star, so there was no mess ups at all. And we got a whopping $37.50 profit, which was about double yesterday, or yesterday was a holiday, as you can see. Unfortunately, we only had 20 likes, which I think means 20 customers, and we didn't sell all the Mega Mouse sushi, so we shouldn't have put the lower value items on the menu. We do have enough followers to increase our Cooksta rating now. We just have to research 2 recipes, and we have a quest to make this moray eel curry, so let's do that. The other recipes aren't looking that great, like these are only 50. These 2 are about 80 to 90. The last one's 180, but we do need mats for it. Although just one of each mat makes 5 servings, and the puffer is pretty easy to capture. I do feel like maybe it's best to save these mats for higher level recipes though. So we're just gonna learn one of the crappy recipes for 3 flame and not learn the expensive one for 8. After learning those recipes, we do get to buff up our Cooksta rating, and the Cooksta inspectors are here to make sure everything's, you know, looking good. And it is all looking good. We're now up to a gold rating. We now have 4 new recipes that we can learn, plus some extra unlocks, mainly an extra kitchen staff. And so we can put another person into the kitchen, and I was thinking Yusuke and maybe buff them up. Or we could gamble with 400 for 4 new applicants, and they'll give us staff at a much higher level than the current Cooksta rating. The TV ad was only higher, and the flyer ad's only the current Cooksta rating level. And I'm wondering if the Cooksta rating level means their skills. So yeah, let's splurge on an internet ad, and let's try to get someone really good. Who will it be? Find out in the next episode. Shout out to everyone in the feedback for part 1, and I did write down a few game suggestions that I will be looking into.